Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order. Folks, we're on book 3 of The Last of the Jedi series written by Jude Watson. This one is called Underworld. Ferriss goes to the Jedi Temple to investigate, to find the missing Jedi. He finds out that it's a trap. High Inquisitor Malorum has an office inside of Yoda's room, and he's trying to study the Jedi Temple archives, which we heard earlier in a book was off limits, or comic book. But it makes sense that Vader would let the High Inquisitors in there to kind of, study up on the Jedi. Well, Ferriss realizes there are no Jedi held captive in the temple. It's all a trap to entrap other Jedi. Malorum knows he's there but can't find him within the temple. And when Darth Vader arrives for a surprise inspection, Trevor and Ferriss are in the next room. They can listen from the other, by the wall. They're listening to the conversation. And he's realizing that the High Inquisitor is more of a rival than Vader's pet. He's trying to get the favor of the Emperor too, and Vader does not like this High Inquisitor. Well, Vader gets really mad when the Malorum says he's investigating Padme Amidala's death. Vader does not want her name mentioned or anything about that instance brought up. So as his anger is so big that's using the Force to kind of put cracks in the ceilings and the walls, and then it blows out a portion of the wall. That exposes Ferriss and Trevor, who are looking directly at Darth Vader. Darth Vader is in a chokehold on the High Inquisitor, and he's looking at them. And that's how the chapter ends. It's a great chapter because the next one is Ferriss goes, "I can't battle a Sith. Run." And he grabs Trevor and does a force sprint to run off. Vader just drops the High Inquisitor and lets him go for whatever reason. And, it could be to embarrass the High Inquisitor, or maybe Vader is shocked to see Ferriss Olin in the temple of all things. And it's funny because Ferriss is just running for his life. He can feel the dark side energy behind him, but for some reason Vader's pursuing right now and he doesn't care. He's got to run. They break through windows, hop onto a speeder, throw the recipient or Imperial trooper off the speeder bike and just barrel away. It's a really good scene. Then they go to find one of the erased, which is Dexter Jackster, Obi-Wan, who they do phone. He makes a cameo. They call him on Tatooine, but he tells them to go find Dexter Jackster. They do find him. His diner's been, shut down by the Empire, but he is part of the Erased, a group of people who are on the run from the Empire, and they're hiding in the underworld of Coruscant. Dexter decides to help them and says, yeah, that Jedi did come through here, and said that she's going to go down even further to a place called Solas, underneath, way down below Coruscant. Now, another interesting thing about this book, it gives a little bit of history of what Coruscant was prior to all the cities on top of cities on top of cities being built to it. That I had forgotten, and that was pretty fun. Now, of course, there's more adventures where some of the Erased follow. Even though Dexter Jackster's on the cover here, he's not really in it that much, probably just 2 chapters. He doesn't go on the adventure with them. A few other people from the Erased go down on the adventure with him, and they go down even further. They find someone called Guide, who, when she brings them to Solas, it turns out that Solas is a person. Yeah, it's the Jedi. And by the way, that Jedi's name is the Guide. It's really weird. Who has a regular Jedi name, but she didn't go by that anymore. She goes by Solas. Well, Ferriss informs Solas that, hey, I heard High Inquisitor Malorum said he has a spy in your midst. She went, oh, we need to get back to the temple to find the spy. And Ferriss found a bunch of lightsabers while he was there at the very beginning. She's like, we need to get those lightsabers. Because, what happens when we find more Jedi or train more Jedi? We can give them these lightsabers. So Ferriss agrees to go back to the temple. This time Malorum, who was ordered by Vader to just leave now, because Vader doesn't want him. He's changed. Well, I think the Emperor let Malorum set foot in the temple, and Vader wants him out. So Malorum is trying to set up Vader by setting up some explosives too, and make it look like Vader had destroyed the temple. Something that the Emperor doesn't want yet. He wants the ruined temple to be a warning sign, So when Ferriss and Solas enter, they find out that there's a bomb. They defuse it. Of course, Malorum, who's trying to watch the temple explode, knows something's wrong and knows that the Jedi are back in there. So he goes back in there to surround them. Ferriss has to basically give himself up as a sacrifice to let the other ones leave. So Trevor's not happy that Ferriss gets captured, and so now Ferriss is in the hands of the High Inquisitor. Meanwhile, while Solas goes back to her base in the Underworld, they get attacked. And it ends on another cliffhanger, because I guess you got to wait till part 4. These end on more cliffhangers than any of the other ones did. Jedi Apprentice and Jedi Quest. There are a few that, adventures that connected back to back to back, but they haven't had a break yet. They're just going in from one book to the next, which is another thing that I forgot. Now this one isn't so bad. It's not so bad. Ferriss Run is knowing his place. He's not being the all-awesome, all-knowing, all-powerful guy that I'm sure he will be later on in the series. And seeing the other characters, it does feel like a regular Jude Watson young adult adventure piece, and I'm happy for that. I hope more are like this, but I know later on I'm really going to hate it. But for now, Underworld was a really good one. All right, folks, that's all for now. See you next time.